Did you know there's $10,000 in free money available right now for restaurant owners affected by disasters, and 90% of eligible businesses aren't applying? The application window closes on May 30th, and most restaurant owners are missing out simply because they don't know how to present their case effectively. In this video, I'm breaking down the exact formula for a winning application, including the 3 specific criteria that determine who gets funded. I'll share templates that address exactly what the selection committee is looking for, helping you navigate this opportunity before time runs out. Let's start with understanding the analyze phase, eligibility requirements, and disaster qualification. Did you know that nearly 40% of restaurants never reopen after experiencing a natural disaster? This sobering statistic highlights why immediate financial assistance is crucial. Every day without support increases the likelihood of permanent closure, especially for small establishments operating on thin margins. That's where the DoorDash Restaurant Disaster Relief Fund becomes a potential lifeline, offering $10,000 grants to help affected businesses recover and rebuild. But before you start crafting your application, you need to make sure you're actually eligible. The first critical step in securing this grant is confirming your eligibility. Your restaurant must have experienced hardship due to a state, tribal, or federally declared natural disaster within the past 12 months. Not general business hardships, but specifically impacts from officially declared disasters. Size and operations matter too. You must have 3 or fewer locations, each with no more than 50 employees, and revenue cannot exceed $3 million per location in 2024. These parameters ensure funds reach smaller, independent restaurants that typically have fewer resources to recover. Qualifying disasters include hurricanes, floods, wildfires, earthquakes, severe storms, and major infrastructure failures affecting your business. However, COVID-19 related damages are explicitly excluded, as separate relief programs were established for pandemic impacts. Many applicants overlook verifying their disaster's official declaration status. You'll need to check the FEMA Disaster Declaration Database, which maintains a comprehensive list of all declared disasters. This verification is required for your application and confirms your situation aligns with the program's criteria. Timing is everything with these applications. The fund operates quarterly with 4 application rounds: summer, closing September 3rd, 2024, fall, December 2nd, 2024, winter, March 3rd, 2025, and spring, May 30th, 2025. Missing these deadlines means waiting for the next round, which could delay your recovery efforts. When every day counts, taking the time to confirm your eligibility before diving into the application process, you'll save valuable time and position yourself for success in the next crucial phase, demonstrating your need and creating a clear plan for the funds. Now we start mastering the design and develop phases, crafting a compelling application narrative. The difference between approved and rejected applications often comes down to a single factor that most restaurant owners completely overlook. While your competitors are busy crafting heartbreaking disaster narratives, they're missing what truly matters. The selection committee uses a specific weighted scoring system where 3 particular criteria determine 80% of your evaluation score. Understanding this hidden framework is like having the answer key before taking the test. Think of your application as crafting the perfect restaurant recipe. You need precise measurements of each ingredient to create a winning result. The selection committee evaluates applications using 3 weighted criteria: demonstrated need, 40%, clarity of fund use plan, 40%, and community commitment, 20%. When you align your application with these exact proportions, you dramatically increase your approval chances. Let's explore how to address each of these critical components. Most restaurant owners make a critical mistake. They spend the bulk of their application describing the disaster itself, rather than strategically addressing these specific criteria. They might write paragraphs about how devastating the hurricane was. The demonstrated needs section worth 40% of your evaluation? Specificity is essential. Don't just say your business suffered, provide exact numbers, document specific revenue declines, e.g., monthly revenue dropped from $45,000 to $18,000. Precise repair costs. Roof replacement, $12,450. Electrical system repairs, $5,200, and detailed inventory losses with supporting evidence. When describing disaster impact, follow this proven formula. Due to specific disaster, on exact date our restaurant experienced specific damages resulting in exact financial impact and operational consequences. This structured approach demonstrates both immediate impact and ongoing challenges. Moving to the clarity of fund use plan, that constitutes another 40% of your score. Create a detailed allocation breakdown showing exactly how you'll use the $10,000. For example, 30% $3,000 for refrigeration equipment replacement, 25% $2,500 for immediate inventory replenishment, and so on. This precise allocation demonstrates thoughtful planning. The final 20% comes from community commitment. Provide concrete examples of how your restaurant supports the local community. Specify events you've hosted, organizations you've partnered with, donation programs, or inclusive employment practices. For example, our restaurant provided 200 free meals to evacuation center volunteers during the recent wildfire and employs 4 veterans from our local community. We move on to implement and evaluate application submission strategies and avoiding common pitfalls. Your perfectly crafted application is ready to submit, but here's where the journey gets treacherous. Nearly 40% of grant applications get rejected before they even reach full evaluation, not because these restaurants don't qualify, but because of technical submission errors that could have been easily prevented with proper planning. Let's tackle the submission process strategically. First, compile your documentation portfolio before clicking Submit. The Hello Alice platform requires specific verification documents. Business ownership proof, articles of incorporation or business license, official disaster declaration confirmation, narrative financial statements showing pre-disaster and post-disaster revenue, visual evidence of the damage your establishment suffered. Incomplete documentation is the primary reason qualified applicants get rejected. Create a checklist and methodically gather each required item. For business ownership verification, ensure your documents match the exact legal name used in your application. When submitting financial statements, create a simple comparison chart that makes the impact immediately visible to reviewers. Beyond basic requirements, create a one-page disaster recovery plan as a supplemental document outlining your 3-phase strategy: immediate stabilization, operational restoration, and long-term resilience building. Reviewers favor applicants who demonstrate forward-thinking approaches rather than just seeking emergency funding. When describing community impact, include brief testimonials that validate your restaurant's importance. For example, following the flood, local school principal Maria Gonzalez stated, "Their kitchen provided 150 hot meals daily to displaced families when no other options existed." Such third-party perspectives substantially strengthen your case with reviewers. Watch for these common rejection triggers: inconsistent information, emotional appeals without data, incomplete form fields, vague plans, and missing attachments. Have someone outside your operation review your application for these pitfalls. Our method provides crucial structure. Consider this urgent scenario. Situation: our restaurant lost all power for 7 days following the tornado, threatening $12,000 in inventory. Task: we needed to salvage perishables and maintain revenue. Action: we partnered with a local food truck to create a limited menu using propane equipment. Result: we preserved 60% of inventory and maintained 25% of normal revenue during recovery. Make reviewers' jobs easier with scannable, evidence-based submissions. Use clear headers, bullet points, and highlight key figures demonstrating both need and recovery potential. We've reached the finish line, and you're now fully equipped with the ADDI framework to successfully secure that $10,000 lifeline for your restaurant. This methodical approach gives you a significant advantage over other applicants who simply fill out forms without strategy. Research consistently shows that strategic approaches dramatically improve grant success rates. You've transformed from just another applicant into a prepared grant candidate positioned for success. Remember, the application window closes on May 30th, 2025 at 6 p.m. ETA, a critical deadline you can't afford to miss. Visit the grant link on our YouTube description to start your application. With your newfound knowledge of eligibility requirements and weighted criteria, your restaurant's recovery journey begins with that first click.